So, JuJu Watkins yesterday played a game against UCLA. It was, for lack of a better word, a disaster class of a performance. Like, she put up 29 points. If you just look at the box score, you're like, yeah, I think she had a 29-point double-double. She took 28 shots, and to be fair, like, when JuJu's not firing on all cylinders and Kiki struggling, the team, they're just not winning. Like, if USC want to win it all, both Kiki and JuJu have to play well at the same time, and that very rarely happens. When they do that, they can beat anyone. But yeah, there is one person that supposedly was not at the game, turned out to be at the game, and it is what people are calling the Kate Voodoo. Caitlin Clark was in attendance to watch JuJu Watkins and USC lose to UCLA. Obviously, she's just there in a box. She's not there courtside cheering like it's Iowa. And people are saying this is some like gotcha moment, or I've seen everything. It's just so dumb. I've seen like, oh yeah, Caitlin Clark's on her phone. She doesn't really care. I'm like, she's just at a basketball game. This could have been halftime. It could have been any time. And I've seen people like, oh, she's just there to watch the downfall of JuJu. If anything, Caitlin Clark is there to watch JuJu win. Like, Caitlin Clark has had to deal with so much crap, and to be fair, JuJu has had to deal with so much crap as well. Because to be fair, I think there are valid arguments, as long as every argument is from a sports specific standpoint. Like, I don't think there's any issue with it. Like, when it becomes like, oh yeah, the comparison obviously of Caitlin Clark and JuJu, which is completely unfair to JuJu, but it's a comparison that's going to be there for the next few years, at least until somebody is clearly just better than JuJu. That comparison is going to be there, and it's whatever about talking about sports, but it's like there's a lot of bad faith arguments for JuJu and real bad faith arguments, but there's also a lot of unnecessary non-basketball hate towards JuJu. And when it comes to sports, you're allowed to like or dislike any sports player, but when I cross the line into personal, that's where things kind of change. But yeah, like, obviously this was the game, and thing with Caitlin Clark is if the cameras could have found her. If the cameras could have found Caitlin Clark, she would have been all over them. The cameras didn't even manage to find her. And thankfully for her agent, she's wearing Nikes. It would have been great. I think that genuinely, obviously she wears Nike everywhere. It would have been very funny to have seen her wear like a pair of Ultra Boosts or something. To see her wear a pair of Ultra Boosts and see what happens. But then again, like, I don't know, if she goes and wears a pair of Ultra Boosts, with the way these idiot fans on Twitter are, they're probably going to start accusing her of I don't know, supporting the damn NAZI party because of who founded Adidas. Just like I've already seen on Twitter, I called it yesterday that Dave Portnoy being a fan of Caitlin Clark and just being in the same place as Caitlin Clark, that they were at one big dinner, and Caitlin Clark and Portnoy were both at a big dinner at an event, that they would use that against her. And they're calling her every name under the sun because of Dave Portnoy. I have no idea what story is Dave Portnoy, but I called it yesterday. But yeah, obviously this was a game that was not a good performance at all for JuJu Watkins, honestly. To be honest, probably a worse performance from Kiki or Yafen, because at least JuJu had a good first half. But like 5 turnovers to 2 assists and 19 missed shots. At least she hit free throws, I guess. At least that's the one thing with JuJu, is you're always going to get those free throws. And like, considering the fact that she got fouled 5 times. She got fouled 5 times for 10 free throws. Let's just, I don't know how many. Let's say 4 of them were shots. That's like 32. 32 shots was taken to include free throws, but obviously no one accounts that. But yeah, it's a mad old situation. It really is a mad old situation. Seeing it all over Twitter, and the one thing is, like, people are obviously talking about the Kate Voodoo because Caitlin Clark has been there. Caitlin Clark in attendance. JuJu Watkins has not lost a game, and like, JuJu Watkins has only lost, if I'm not mistaken, 3 college games this year, and Caitlin Clark was in attendance for 2 of them. She was in attendance for 2 of the 3. But if anything, with this one, because it wasn't against Iowa, Caitlin Clark was probably there to watch JuJu win. And it is so funny. It's like people are just bored on Twitter, and it's great being able to report on it because, it's easy videos. It is easy videos like you've now got, and now with the amount of fake news coming out, there's like Kate Martin's had to respond to fake news on Instagram, which is mad. But it's just all around. It's just a funny time. It's a funny time. We're coming into the March Madness tournament, which is obviously going to be huge this year. It's going to be huge again. Like it would be interesting to see when it's all said and done what the viewership numbers are like compared to last year. Like I do think if Paige faces JuJu in the final, it'll be huge. Don't see either of them getting there. I have just this weird feeling that USC are going to lose early, like Sweet 16 maybe. They do have the cakewalk. Like the best team that they have to face is an NC State team who aren't great, all the way to Final Fours. But I still think they have to play Ole Miss again, who aren't great, but it's still not going to be too easy. Well, as from the brackets that I've seen, they have the cakewalk, the cakewalk bracket to the Final Four basically. But yeah, it was a tough loss for JuJu and a tough loss for USC. And if anything, it's given UCLA that confidence that they can go and beat USC, even if they dig themselves a bit of a hole. Because if you guys don't remember, the first time they played, UCLA dug a big hole, UCLA came back, and in fairness to JuJu, she did take over down the stretch. Everyone started hitting shots as well. The second time it wasn't even close, and through what? 5 half, or there's quarters in women's basketball, through 10 quarters, they just chose not to guard JuJu Watkins, and then for 2 they chose to guard her. So obviously things changed there. And I would assume, honestly, Final Four. If JuJu's in that Final Four, I would assume Caitlin will be there just watching. And again, Caitlin will be there being watching the younger players in that Final Four. Like, imagine if TCU make it, if UConn make it, and they play off against each other. Caitlin Clark's getting to watch those younger players in Sedona Prince and Paige Beckers and Hailey Van Lith face off against each other. Does it matter that they're all 1 to 2 years older than Caitlin Clark? No, that doesn't matter. Well, calendar years. They're in different calendar years. But anyway, yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.